World War II ended. Allies became rivals. 1945 US and USSR had been partners against Hitler. Now, lines were drawn. Churchill spoke of an Iron Curtain falling across Europe. Eastern nations fell under Soviet control. Western Europe aligned with America. Leaders claimed deep ideological conflict. But why did former allies turn so fast? Was the split genuine or planned from the start? 1946 to 1947, Truman Doctrine announced. Support nations threatened by communism. Marshall Plan poured billions into Western Europe. Critics said it was economic warfare. Soviets blocked Eastern countries from joining. Stalin called it imperialist expansion. Yet both sides benefited from tension. Military spending skyrocketed. Was this already a coordinated show? 1948 Berlin blockade began. Soviets closed all routes into West Berlin. US and allies launched airlift flying supplies for 11 months. Millions of tons delivered. No shots fired. Blockade lifted in 1949. Both sides claimed victory. But why no escalation? Why let supplies flow? Did they agree beforehand how far to go? 1949 NATO formed. Military alliance against Soviet threat. Weeks later, USSR tested its first atomic bomb. News shocked the West. Intelligence had said they were years away. Documents later showed estimates were deliberately exaggerated. Was the bomb's development accelerated or the threat manufactured? 1950–1953. Korean War. First major proxy conflict. Millions died. US and allies fought alongside South Korea. China and USSR supported North. Battles brutal, but war ended in stalemate. Border stayed same. Both superpowers gained justification for more arms. Was the war just a scripted conflict? 1952 Eisenhower elected. Warned later, beware military-industrial complex. Private companies built weapons, made billions. Defense budgets grew year after year. Even in peace, spending never fell. Who truly benefited from fear? Were wars and tensions just business models? 1955 Warsaw Pact created. Soviet answer to NATO. Now two formal military blocs facing each other. Troops massed across Europe, yet no major invasion ever came. Maneuvers were massive, predictable, always watched. Why such perfect symmetry? Did both sides follow an agreed script? 1956 Hungarian Revolution. People rose against Soviet rule. USSR sent tanks, crushed resistance, thousands killed. West condemned, it did nothing. Promised aid never arrived. Why leave them to die? Was intervention expected? Was the outcome decided long before? 1957 Sputnik launched. Soviets won space race, first step. Americans panicked, claimed national security at risk. Billions poured into science and education. Space became new battlefield. Yet both nations shared technology later. Why compete so hard? If they shared goals. 1960 U-2 incident. American spy plane shot down over USSR. Pilot captured. U.S. denied mission, then admitted it. Khrushchev publicly exploded with anger. But no retaliation, no war. Relations cooled, but recovered fast. Was this just theater to prove hostility? 1961 Berlin Wall built. Overnight, families divided. Guards patrolled. People died crossing. West protested loudly, took no action. Wall stood 28 years. Why let it happen? Why never try to remove it? Did leaders agree it would stay? 1962 Cuban Missile Crisis. Closest to nuclear war. Soviet missiles discovered in Cuba. Kennedy and Khrushchev exchanged tense messages. World held breath. Secret deal reached. USSR removes missiles. U.S. removes own from Turkey. Deal kept secret for decades. Why hide it? What else was hidden? Declassified Report, 1965 to 1985. BDM study found U.S. intelligence always overestimated Soviet power. Analysts admitted they exaggerated threats to justify budgets. Soviets did same overstated Western plans. Both sides fed fear. Was every danger inflated on purpose? Proxy wars raged. Vietnam, Angola, Afghanistan, Nicaragua. Millions died. Superpowers supplied weapons, money, advisors. But never fought directly. Always kept conflict limited. Casualties were real, suffering real. But did both sides control the violence to ensure it never ended? 1968 Prague Spring. Czechoslovakia tried reforms. Soviets invaded, restored hardline rule. West again protested no help. Leaders said cannot risk war. But was risk real? Or was invasion part of the plan to maintain order? Arms race spiraled. Thousands of nuclear warheads built, enough to destroy civilization many times over. Yet strict rules existed. No first strike, clear communication, red lines never crossed. Why build so many, if never intended to use? Détente began. Relaxed tensions. Summits, trade agreements, treaties. Both sides spoke of peace. But arms building continued. Spying increased. Cooperation and hostility side by side. Could you be enemies and partners at once? SALT treaties signed. Limited missile numbers. But loopholes remained. New weapons developed outside limits. Agreements seemed designed to regulate, not end, competition. Was control the real goal? 1979 Soviets invaded Afghanistan. U.S. called it aggression, funded rebels. War lasted 9 years, devastated USSR, but years later, former officials said both knew it would fail. Why fight a war you know you lose? 1983 Stanislav Petrov incident. Satellite warning said U.S. launched missiles. Protocol, report, launch counterattack. Petrov doubted it, called error. World saved, but system was flawed. Why rely on such dangerous systems? Were near misses planned to keep fear alive? 1980 Reagan called USSR evil empire. Proposed Star Wars defense. Massive new buildup. Then suddenly, meetings, summits, friendship. Gorbachev arrived, changed everything. How did enemies become friends so fast? Glasnost and perestroika. Soviet reforms opened archives, changed economy, but key files destroyed. KGB burned thousands of records. CIA also withheld core files. What evidence did they erase? Declassified 2009's U.S. National Security Archive confirmed intelligence systematically misrepresented Soviet strength. Leaders knew threats were smaller than claimed, but told public otherwise. Why lie about danger? Military budgets. U.S. spent trillions. USSR spent half its economy, but arms makers in both nations profited equally. Wealth flowed to same corporations, same elite groups. Did they control policy from behind? Operation Northwoods, declassified 1997. U.S. military proposed false flag attacks kill own citizens. Blame Kubatu, justify war. Rejected, but existed. Did similar plans shape decades of tension? Were events staged to create enemies? Space cooperation? After competition, joint missions, shared stations, technology freely exchanged. If they were enemies, why share most advanced secrets? Was rivalry just public show? 1989 Berlin Wall fell. Celebrations worldwide. But documents show negotiations began years earlier. Leaders agreed on timing, transition, aftermath. Collapse was planned. Why pretend it was sudden? 1990 Germany reunified. Soviets agreed, withdrew troops. No demands, no resistance. A move once unthinkable happened smoothly. Was division always temporary? 1991 Soviet Union dissolved. End of Cold War. But no surrender, no defeat. Leaders shook hands, exchanged assets. Wealth and power shifted smoothly. Did they simply rebrand their relationship? Aftermath, former enemies became partners. NATO expanded east. Russia joined talks. Same military industries kept contracts. Threat changed name from communism to terrorism. Did they just invent a new enemy? Historians debate. Some say genuine conflict. Others say coordinated game. Declassified files have gaps. Key meetings unrecorded. Testimonies contradict. We may never read what was destroyed. What truth lies missing? Millions died, suffered, lost homes. Pain is undeniable, but was it all necessary? Or was human cost the price of maintaining power and profit? Could so much suffering be staged? Both sides' archives, similar patterns, same tactics, same propaganda. Almost identical strategies. Too perfect, too balanced. Like two actors reading from same script. Did they ever truly oppose each other? Economists found global wealth grew faster because of Cold War. Defense spending drove innovation. K's, control. Stability maintained through controlled conflict. Was peace never the goal? Was the Cold War staged? Evidence points both ways. Real pain, real fear, real danger. But also clear profit, perfect symmetry, planned endings. Files destroyed, secrets kept, questions remain. Did two great powers fight or perform? And if it was staged, what else have we believed that wasn't real?